It wouldn't stop raining since that morning, and there was no escape after I got off the bus. The water seeped through down to my socks, and I couldn't wait to get home and take them all off. All of it. I fumbled with my keys. Hands felt too slippery against the cold metal. I was tired, annoyed, uncomfortable, and soaking wet. I hated rainy seasons so much. Admittedly, I wasn't paying that much attention when I heard my neighbor's voice behind me, as he also seemed to rush into the building. We walked side by side, all the way to the elevator, complaining about the rain. Nothing was really said. I thought it didn't matter. It was just another day. Nothing else. Once the elevator doors closed, I finally looked at him, and he was smoking hot. I mean, covered in blood. That totally does not add to the allure. I couldn't believe my eyes. His hoodie had more than just some minor splatters. There were big splotches of blood on his sleeves and torso. His hair wet, letting droplets roll down his cheeks. I just... say something about the rain, the blood, nothing. Hey! The winter we're having, right? Every year, it's the same with this rain. Does it ever stop? Do we really have to get used to it? He sighed, annoyed. What is with your mouth, my dude? I just can't get used to how rainy it gets. Every year, I think I'm prepared, but nope. He just sounds normal, just like the man I know who lives across my apartment. The elevator kept going up ever so slowly, and never have I regretted as much as this second to live on the last floor across this man. I question every single interaction I ever had with him, and nothing stands out. He has always been a regular guy, but I couldn't help but doubt everything I knew. Hey. His voice interrupted my thoughts, when not even the thunder seemed to get through to me. Yeah, what's up? He smiled gently at me, but his face had blood rolling down, and I couldn't help but get more freaked out than before. We shouldn't be on the elevator. I think that the storm, with the storm, it's just a matter of time before this old building loses power. Oh, he's the rational man, but how can he act normal in this sort of situation? Shouldn't he be worried I might do something? Say something? He looked at me in silence, concerned. Well... The elevator's fine. I mean, like, what's the worst that could happen? You sure? He asked again, and lets the elevator door close. Well, I'm not leaving you inside alone here. In the past, he would have struck me as kind, but I wasn't sure anymore. We got to our floor without a hitch, and once we waved goodbye to each other. I walked past my apartment's doorstep and I fell to my knees. I didn't want to believe any of it, but tomorrow came and everything was the same. The following days were exactly the same as they always were. He greeted me with a smile and made small talk on the elevator, then waved goodbye. Maybe I should forget about it. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Ending 2. Just another day. Well, I know that there are 3 endings to this visual novel. I want to see what happens if we choose, to just point out the obvious. Okay, what happens if we point out the obvious? Yeah, I'm gonna say something about the blood. Are you, is anyone hurt? He smiles at me without saying a word for too long, and the elevator couldn't move fast enough. I asked, unsure of how my voice sounded. I wanted to believe it wasn't what it seemed. I wanted to believe that someone had gotten hurt or something, but that's too much blood. What reason could he have to be covered in blood without rushing to a hospital? I was just dealing with an animal a friend brought from hunting. I don't know how to prepare something like that, so I made a mess. I had to get rid of most of the parts. I could barely cook normal beef. The elevator kept going up ever so slowly, and never have I regretted as much as this second to live on the last floor across this man. But anyway, we've already read this part. Hey. His voice interrupted my thoughts, when not even the thunder seemed to get through to me. I'ma say nothing. He seemed annoyed at me, but I can't meet his eyes. Always the rational man, but how could he act normal in this sort of situation? Shouldn't he be worried I might do something, say something? He looked at me in silent concern. Are you gonna kill me if I don't listen? And where did you get those sort of ideas from? His voice was raspy and scary. He smiled at me, and for the first time ever, I noticed his teeth were sharp and pointy like a shark. That does not look sharp and pointy. His teeth look like Tic Tacs. For a brief moment, I looked at him, and he flashed me a toothy smile with his eyes narrowed. Well, I can't do this. Dull bloods are a problem when they get scared. Before I could say anything, I felt a sharp pain in my gut. But I looked down, I saw the end of a knife sticking out of me. My shirt slowly becoming tinted in red. No harsh feelings, darling, but I need you to be quiet. You were nice. I'll miss you. Ending 3. Inconvenient. Wait. Okay, so he just stabbed me and left. That's it. Okay, so those two endings, okay, you have to actually like go through like a very specific set of answers to get there. But ending 1, which is like the default ending, you could say a variety of things. You could say anything at all, and like it'll just lead you to ending 1. So we're just gonna say nothing. The uncomfortable silence was palpable, and my throat refused to make any sounds. We had been talking just a few moments ago, but now I wouldn't dare utter a word, frozen and paralyzed on my spot in the elevator. He keeps talking about the rain and complaining about how wet all of his clothes are, but I say nothing, petrified. The elevator kept going up ever so slowly, and never have I regretted as much as this second to live on this last floor across this man. Hey. His voice interrupted my thoughts when not even the thunder seemed to get to me. I'm gonna say nothing. He seemed annoyed at me, but I couldn't meet his eyes. Always the rational man, but how could he act normal in this sort of situation? Should he be worried I might do or say something? I mean, heck, like, it's getting harder for me to keep my hands and eyes off of him. I say nothing. He grumbled under his breath. You people are all the same. He complained, frustrated and tired. Once we got to our floor, the doors opened and he left in a huff. He didn't bother looking back at me. From that day on, he never talked to me again. He started to avoid me more than I was avoiding him. I called the police and I knew a detective came by, but nothing happened. Everything went quiet. He would glare at me from a distance, but that was where all this ended. Ending 1. Forget about it. So that was Elevator Neighbor. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this for yourselves, the link to the game will be in the description below. I'd say the premise is quite interesting. I feel like the developer might have like other ideas of what they might want to do with this character, or perhaps even with this world sometime in the future. But I'm not entirely sure. This was an interesting premise. I hope that there's gonna be more being done with this character, but who knows? I mean, heck, God knows I've not done anything with my games for a while. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion signing off. Ciao.